Hello everyone, my name is Chris Barber. I'm a strength coach at the Center of Optimal Restoration here at Santa Clara Swim Club. Today we're going to talk about the biomechanics of water polo throw. We're going to talk about the preparation, the backswing, the forward motion, the release, and the follow through. And water polo is a sport that involves complex skills in which the athlete attempts to score a goal by throwing the ball as fast and accurately as possible. Water polo throw relates to most overhand sports. It's very similar in the mechanics, but there's some factors that make it a little more advanced than land-based overhand sports. And so, water polo, like most other land sports, they have a firm surface to push off on. But with water polo, we do not have that firm surface. We have the water, we have nothing to push off on. Okay? And then the water polo ball is about twice the size of your hand, so it makes it very hard to control and balance the ball while trying to avoid defenders. Okay, and also you can only control the ball with one hand. Most sports you can hold it with two and throw, but with water polo you can only hold the ball with one hand. Okay, so just to start, just the anatomy that's involved, we have our muscles in our forearms that help us grip the ball and helps us with our wrist flexion when throwing the ball. This will help create a lot of power on our throws. This is the last part of the power phase. Okay, we have our muscles from our biceps to our triceps and our shoulder. That's where the rotator cuffs that will help us throw the ball. They'll help get the nice stretch in our shoulder that we need to throw it. We'll talk about that later on in the presentation. Okay, we have our most important part is our trunk. Okay, so like our obliques that do a lot of the rotation, do a lot of the bend, the hyperextension. Okay, so the core muscles are very important. We have our main muscle groups in our legs. We have our glutes, our quads, hamstrings, and our abductor muscles that help us move around, help us get into the position to throw the ball. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the throw. Okay, first we have the preparation phase. Okay, so the preparation phase is what helps us set up into the position to throw. Very important part of the thing. If we do not get in the right preparation, the whole motion could be flawed. Okay, so first what we're going to do, we're going to face our target. Okay, so we're just about to get the pass from our teammate, and we're looking to see what opening we have. Maybe we have a small window to throw the ball to and score a goal. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. Okay, so we just get the pass from our teammate. Okay, so we have the ball, we're looking where we want to do. Okay, so before we start the throw, we have to lift the ball up out of the water. Okay, so how do we do this? There's two different kinds of lifts we can do. We can have our rotational grip, where we can put our hand on top of the ball, creating downward pressure on the ball and rotating our hand underneath and throwing. We also have an underneath grip or lift where we can lift the ball up out of the water just from our hand up. In elite water polo players or water polo players that have larger hands, that rotational grip will work best for them. But with athletes that have smaller hands, who are new to the sport, the underneath grip is fine. It just makes you makes balance and control of the ball that important. Okay, so we're about to lift the ball up out of the water. So we'll just start with that rotational grip. So we're having our hand out, we're grabbing the ball. So as we're rotating our hand underneath, we're rotating our body, our trunk away from the body and getting into that power position. Okay? So if we have our chest not fully closed, that's less power that we're going to have on our throw. So the more we get closed, the more power we're going to have. So we're having our shoulders pointed to where we want to throw before we start anything. Okay? So we want to make sure we're aiming at where we want to throw. Okay? Next, we want to get into that backswing. So this is where we're going to get all that momentum coming forward into our throw. So we need to really stress on this backswing. Backswing is very important. Okay, so now we're going from the preparation phase to the backswing. Okay, so the backswing. So we're going to talk about the throwing arm first, and then we're going to talk about our non-throwing arm first. Okay, so we're getting into that rotation. We're ready to go. So as we're rotating, we're abducting our shoulder up to about 90 degrees. Our hand is above our shoulder, just to create that downhill angle on our throws. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. Okay, so we have our shoulder at 90 degrees. We have our elbow bent at 90 degrees. If you're doing that underneath grip, it's okay if you have your arm a little more than about 107 degrees is usually what athletes get to. But when they throw the ball, their arm will get to that 90 degrees. Okay, so we're abducting our shoulder. So 90 degrees, elbow about between 90 and 107 degrees. Okay, our arm is above our hand, our fingers are on top of the ball. Okay, next, okay, what are we doing with our front hand? Our front hand can't just dangle there. We need to have a nice position for it to be, okay? So how do we do this? Okay, so our front arm is where our accuracy and the initiation of our power are coming from, okay? So we're bringing up, so as we're abducting our shoulders, we're bringing up our non-throwing arm, extending our elbow out towards where we want to throw. So we have a 90 degrees, nice and level. We don't want to lean back. We don't want to lean too forward. If we lean back, we're going to have an accurate throw. Ball might not go where we want it to go. We have it down. We might kind of skip the ball in the water. And if you have to skip on the water to score a goal, that's okay. But right now, we're just talking about perfect mechanics. Okay. So we're pointing towards our target. We're ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to go from the backswing to the throw. Okay, so with that, the throw, our front arm is a very important part of the throw. Okay, so all of our upper body is working in a chain. So if something's not completely doing its job, it's going to affect the throw. So everything has to work together. Okay, so we're getting to that backswing. We're nice and level, pointing to where we want to go. So now let's start the throw. Okay, so we're pulling our elbow down, trying to bring our hand to our armpit. So what this is doing is this is initiating our power by rotating our non-throwing shoulder away from the throw and facing our target. This is where we're getting our trunk rotation. So it goes from rotation of the shoulder and then rotation of the trunk. Okay, so huge part of this. So if we don't rotate enough, or we're kind of lackadaisical on this throw, this could really interrupt our trunk rotation. Okay, so how we do this? We're pulling our arm down, pulling our elbow down, trying to get to our armpit. Okay, and we're having our shoulder staying back. So think of it as a slingshot. Okay, so we're pulling that slingshot back. That's the same thing as our arm coming back. So we have a lateral rotation of our arm. This is where we can get our whip from. Okay, some common flaws in this. We're pulling our shoulder open too fast, and our arm kind of drags. It stays behind. Okay, so this could cause a lot of unnecessary stress on our shoulder and on our elbow. Plus, it could take away velocity on our throw, and we could have a wild throw. The ball might not go where we want it to go. Okay, so also too, if we drag, our arm could come out like this. It could come out to an angle, and we don't want that. Okay, we want to make sure we're on top of the ball, creating a downward angle. Okay, so a downward angle is when the ball comes exploding off your hand down in a downward plane. It's going to create the most velocity possible, and it could be harder for the defender or the goalie to block the ball. Okay, because it's going to come out very fast, and they're going to have to react a lot quicker. Okay, so we're getting to that position. Okay, we're rotating. Our arm's staying back. Okay, so our back's a little bit in a hyperextension. This is where we're going to get that forward motion on the throw. Okay, so we're just finishing our rotation. Our chest is facing towards our target, our arms staying back, and now we're going to go to the throw. Okay, so we're on top of the ball, so our arms starting to come forward. On top of the ball, our fingers are on top of the ball, our wrist is in a flexed position, and our forearm is pronated. Okay, so we're on top, we're coming through, we're getting that forward lean, our body, not too dramatic lean, but just as the arm is coming forward, the trunk is coming forward also. Okay, so we're on top of the ball, fingers are on top of the ball. Okay, and we throw, we're changing that angle from a 90 degrees to about 40 degrees. Okay, we don't want to fully extend our elbow because this can cause a lot of elbow pain. Okay, so we're on top, on top, on top, and right when we're just about to finish or let go of the ball, we're snapping our wrist down, getting that last ounce of power on the ball, and following through. Okay, so we'll make sure we still want to stay facing towards our target, so just in case the ball gets blocked or we miss the goal, we have to get back on defense. Okay, so some flaws that we have on the follow through. So we get to that position, we're okay, we're right to where we want to be, but what happens if our wrist is not in a flex position? It's extended, so it's all the way up here. The ball is going to sail on us. The ball is going to be flat and not in a downward angle, and our ball's going to either go over the net or just not going to be where we want it to at all. Okay, so make sure we're in that flex position. Okay, nice athletic position, flex. So extending our elbow, sending our elbow, snap, and fall through. It's also very important to fall through. If we stop after we let go of the ball, we're not getting that full velocity that we need. So we really need to follow through. This will help protect our shoulder and our elbow. Okay? So just to review, we have so we're facing our target. Okay, so as we're getting our ball up to 90 degrees, our shoulders are abducted, our elbow is 90 degrees, our arm is above our shoulder. So we're pulling our hand down, 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 down into our armpit. Our back is a little bit of hyperextension. We're in a lateral flexion. And then as we're just about to finish our rotation, that's when the arm comes forward. Wrist is straight on top of the ball and follow through. Okay, so getting that last snap on the ball is a very crucial spot. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our lower body. Okay, so our lower body is doing a lot of work. That's where we're getting our lining up to our throw. We're getting the rotation, and we're getting above our defenders. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, so water is more resistant than air. So the more body we can get out of the water, the higher velocity throws we will have. Okay, so how do we get up out of the water? Okay, so right when we're in that preparation phase, we're kicking our feet, kicking. We're doing an 8-beater kick, so we're kicking. So as we're rotating, we're getting up as high as we can out of the water. And right when we're getting into that backswing, we laterally rotate our throwing side leg and keeping our non-throwing leg in the same position. But we're rotating our non-throwing foot towards the target, and it will help us get a little more rotation on our throw. So if we keep our foot closed, we're not going to get that full rotation. But if we have it a little open, this will help open up our hips and get more rotation a little easier. Okay, so we're kick. We're bringing our arms up, laterally extending our leg. Okay, so now we're going to talk about weight distribution. So weight distribution is where we're getting our momentum back and forward. Okay, so we want about 60 to 70% on our throwing side leg and about 30 to 40 on our front side. We don't want too much on our front leg because then our arm will drag. Okay, so we want to make sure with our backswing, our body's coming back. Okay, so our knees a little slightly bent on our throwing side, relatively straight on our front leg, and we're ready to go. So we're getting to that backswing. Okay, so we have our weight distribution, about 70-30. Okay, arms straight. So as we're rotating, we're still back, still in that hyperextension of our back, our elbows up, 90 degrees. Okay, so as we're coming forward, that's when the weight distribution and our momentum is coming forward. So it's still back. Okay, coming forward, snap, and fall through. Okay, so one more time. So we're in our preparation. We kick, 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 kick. We rotate, extending our back leg. Okay, keeping this leg straight. We're at the top of our backswing. Okay, so now we're going from the backswing to the throw. So we're rotate, 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 still staying back on our back leg, on top of the ball. Okay, now we're ready to go forward. So we're still back, still back, still back, on top. Now weight distribution is coming forward, going through snap, and making sure we're facing our target. Okay, so that's the throw. Okay, so how can we improve on our velocity and our mechanics? Okay, so when we're practicing our mechanics, make sure to really stress on perfect form. If you can get that nice muscle memory, it'll make it easier when you get into the pull. So when you're in a game, you don't have to think about what you're doing. So you don't want to think, backswing. Get on top, fall through. It should be all muscle memory. So you should just be catching the ball, get, throw. Okay, so catch, throw. So it should be just muscle memory. Okay, so there's some drills that we can do to help improve our mechanics. Okay, so first one we have the ball in our hand. We're gonna get, point, and throw. Okay, we can do it slow. First couple slow. So we'll do it from a different angle. So right here, elbow up, arm pointed. Yeah, just like that. So right here, pointing to our target. Okay, next one we can do. So same kind of thing. So we get to that motion first, okay, and rotate through, okay? So get to that motion, rotate through, okay? Now there's another one we can do. This will help really work on the velocity, okay? So we're starting facing our target. So we're bringing our arm back, so we're getting that nice torque in our trunk, okay? And we're ready to go, okay? So just simulating that fall through, okay? And fall through, ready to play defense. Okay? And that is